What is up? Good morning. Good Sunday morning. Sunday. It is not. What the hell is going on with my clock here? It is not November 1st. It is not 4:50 p.m. I don't know what the hell my clock thinks going on here. Today is Sunday, November the 4th. We are clear into November. Judging by the some of the storefronts that I've seen, you'd think we're about 2 weeks out from Christmas, but we've got Thanksgiving yet, people. We've still got to get through some football. We got about a whole nother 6, 7 games of the NFL season. We'll probably know our bowl situation well before Christmas. So we got a lot of stuff we got to take care of here. First and foremost, we wanted to take care of Thursday night, the big shit show, the shit fest that was the Bay Area battle, the Niners and the Raiders. The Raiders look absolutely horrendous. Nick Mullins was told he was going to start about an hour and a half, 2 hours before the game. Comes out like gangbusters, and the Niners win 34-3. Got that one pretty wrong. So a shit start to the week for me. Went Oakland +3 there. Obviously 0-1 for the week. For the season, 66-52-4. Last week, I did end up going 8-6. I was not very confident about last week's picks for some reason. Just was not feeling it. This week, I'm a little more confident about the picks after looking at them, going through and seeing where we stand. I'm really hoping that we can do much better than the standard 5-7 that some people put out when they make these picks. I'm confident that I am right now on a historic streak for podcasters out of Sussex County, Delaware, making NFL picks. Pretty confident in that. I think there's about 4 of us, and I'm pretty confident that I'm having one of the most historic, best seasons ever. So let's try to keep that intact. We got a not a great slate of 1 o'clock games, but man, do we have some great 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock games for you tonight. So let's get started with the 1 o'clock games. We have the Bills and the Bears. What can you say? Nathan Peterman's back in the fold. Who would have thunk that Nathan Peterman would ever be starting another NFL game? Josh Allen hurt himself. The Bills are going to take a very, very cautious approach with him. They think that he is the future. I like these 2 little bits of hair I got going on here. I need to shave up this head. Josh Allen is the future of the Bills. Whether it's going to be a good future or a bad future, we will find out. But we won't find out this week because he's out. They signed veteran Derek Anderson, who also then went down with an injury, an arm injury. He was out doing whatever he does. I think golfing, selling insurance, who knows, whatever he was doing a couple weeks ago. Then he's the quarterback of the Bills. Now he's hurt, and we're back to Nathan Peterman. So I don't know if you guys have seen Nathan Peterman play quarterback, but it's pretty good for the other team usually. I think he's thrown about 12 interceptions in like 8 quarters of play. Homeboy does not seem to have the whole concept down of throwing it to the proper team. And I know I'm piling on here. I'm overstating the obvious, but long story short, we're going with Chicago -10 in that game. The Bears defense last week against the Jets basically played a high school offense. The Jets didn't have any healthy weapons. Khalil Mack didn't play, and the Jets still couldn't get anything done. Ton of false start penalties. The Bears defense just throttled them. Mitchell Trubisky looks like he's going to be at least a competent NFL quarterback, which is a good sign because last year he did not look like he was going to be that, and this year he's looking like he can at least carry a winning team maybe to the playoffs. Who knows? We'll see. But the Bears -10 is the pick in that game. And I don't know that you're going to get many people taking the Bills. It's just Nathan Peterman has shown nothing, to be quite honest. Now, this could be a trap game for the Bears. I don't know. I find it hard to believe that they would overlook an opponent after what happened to them in Miami when they overlooked the Dolphins with Brock Osweiler. You can't imagine they would do that twice in a row. So I'm taking Chicago -10. I don't know why it's taking me like 2 minutes to get off of this game, but it is. So let's go to Browns and Chiefs. The Browns, the Browns, what a shit show that is. Hugh Jackson fired, gone. He gone. Who else is gone? Todd Haley, he gone. Josh Gordon, he been gone. They got a lot of people that been gone. Sashi Brown, he been gone. So now looks like they're cleaning house about 8 games too late. They should have done this for Baker Mayfield at the beginning of the season. Why would you not want your your coach and your quarterback to come in together and go ahead and, make things happen. Facebook thinks I've been live now for about, I don't know, 3 days because my clock on my computer was messed up at the beginning of this podcast. So Facebook thinks I've been live for like 3 days now. It's like 64 hours. That'd be some sort of record if I was live that long. And if you fuckers were still watching, that'd be gross. You watch me sleep. You'd watch me do weird things. I do have to poop. Speaking of poop, let's take a swig of coffee. Oh, yeah, there it is. Piling on the poop chute. There we go. That's what this podcast is about, talking about poop and shit and nasty things. Kansas City is an 8-point favorite in Cleveland. Cleveland is the home team. That's the one thing they do have going for them. Who knows? They may play hard for their disguised head coach. I don't know if you guys know or if you remember, but Greg Williams got in a lot of trouble with Bountygate. Left, came back basically wearing the disguise like a movie villain disguise. He dyed his hair dark. He grew a goatee out and he put on a pair of glasses and thought that maybe people wouldn't recognize him. I don't know. He's been rocking it ever since. He's just been rocking the movie villain disguise ever since. You're not fooling people. We know you did Bountygate. It wasn't the worst thing in the world. I get it. You paid some players to injure some other players. Whatever. That's part of the NFL. But you didn't have to come back in a B-rate movie villain disguise. Like, looks like he's the guy who comes in like 3/4 way through the movie. Like you thought another guy was the villain, but no, it's actually this guy who's the villain. And he's some computer genius that like stole some code from a bank and now he's holding him up. That's what Greg Williams looks like with his goatee and his darker hair. Not exactly sure what the team's going to do to respond to him. So I don't think I can take the Browns with much confidence. So I have to take the Chiefs in this game. They've looked good. Patrick Mahomes looks like the real deal. Is it Pat Mahomes? Is it the offense? Is it his weapons? Is it Andy Reid? Here's the thing. Right now, it doesn't matter because they're just playing really good football. So I'm going to take Kansas City -8 in that game. Brings me to my beloved Jets. They're traveling to Miami. Last night, Duke and Miami played in a fucking monsoon, basically a torrential downpour. Apparently they really screwed up the field. Miami's a 3-point favorite in this game. They have no Ryan Tannehill, no Albert Wilson. Kenny Stills may not play if the field's too bad. The Dolphins are beat up. The Jets are really beat up. This game has probably got all the hallmarks of people probably wanting to take the under. Let's see if I can get this to pull up. My computer is acting like a piece of shit right now. No. All right, let's pull it up on the phone. Anyway, what I'm doing here is going to kind of hedge my bets because I think Enunwa, Robbie Anderson are probably not going to play because of the field conditions. Also, you got to figure that Kenny Stills isn't going to play. What I'm thinking is that it's Miami -3. Let's see, where's the over under? Boom, boom, boom. The over under right now is 42. So I would take the Jets and the under. The Jets +3 and the under in this game. I don't know why I feel like I should throw you in a bonus pick there, but I'm going to throw in the Jets +3 and under. I just feel like the Jets are going to win this game outright. They're coming off of 2 pretty tough losses to NFC North defenses that are really good. Miami's got a pretty good defense, but I think Sam Darnold and company can get it together, get a win down there in Miami, put their season back on track. If they win this game, they go to 4-5. They still have a shot to think about the playoffs. They've got the Bills next week, and if Nathan Peterman's starting, you got to think the Jets have a good chance to be 500 going into late November, early December. So give me the Jets +3 in that game. The aforementioned Vikings are a 5-point home favorite to the Lions. They seem to have kind of figured it out. They look, I don't know what I would say, pedestrian against the Saints. Kirk Cousins kind of came back down to earth. There were a couple mix-ups between himself and his wide receivers, whether it was Stephon Diggs or Adam Thielen, I don't know. But what I do know is that the end result was pretty poor for the Saints. Not for the Saints. It was really good for the Saints. It was pretty poor for Kirk Cousins and the Vikings. So I think they have to have a bounce back game. They're going into a bye week. They're pretty good going into a bye in their past few seasons. So I'm going to take Minnesota -5. The Lions have been way too up and down. They beat some really good teams. They beat the Packers, and then they turn around and they lose to some mediocre teams like the Seahawks. Like they got dusted by the Seahawks last week. I think it ended up being 28-14. They're just too Jekyll and Hyde. Matthew Stafford. He's a Stepford wife. Matthew Stafford is too Jekyll and Hyde. I just like the Vikings here, -5 at home. Another East Coast game here in this looks like it's going to be a nice day here on the East Coast, but yesterday was kind of rainy, kind of gross. Atlanta's coming up to the nation's capital before Tuesday midterms. Get out and vote, boys. But that's not why we're here. The Redskins, the Slurs, the Deadskins, whatever you want to refer to them as, the team in Washington, the Daniel Snyders, they are a 2-point favorite against the Falcons. The Falcons have seemed to kind of found their way. They are still without Deion Jones. They are still without Keanu Neal. So they're hurting on defense. For that reason, Washington is a 2-point favorite right now. Who'd have thunk earlier in the season that Washington would be a 2-point favorite against Atlanta? Yes, the game is in Washington, but all day, give me Matt Ryan, give me the Falcons. I'm taking Atlanta +2. I'm really hesitant to do that, though, because the Redskins are really good up the middle. Daron Payne is really, really good up the middle. Jonathan Allen is really, really good up the middle. And team, just let's put it that way, they struggle. I know that Matt Ioannidis and Ryan Kerrigan get a lot of the credit for getting the sacks, but that's because those guys are occupying blockers in the middle. The Redskins' offensive line is solid. Alex Smith is solid. He's not going to turn the ball over. I just think that Atlanta is going to start to go on a run here and start to get themselves back into the playoff talk. I think they're going to come up short, but I think they're going to put themselves back in that conversation. One of the reasons they're going to come up short is because the Panthers in their own division also have a very weak schedule. So we have Panthers and Buccaneers. Ryan's Fitzmagic is back. What the hell are the Bucs going to do with Jameis Winston? I'm assuming Fitzpatrick has started. Let me confirm that, because I really, after that game, I didn't even look into it. I just assume that Fitzpatrick is going to start. Let's see. Ryan Fitzpatrick. Let's see. Let me try to do this as fast as possible. I'm trying to do it with my left hand. It's not working. I got a new phone. It's kind of big. I got little tiny hobbit hands. Ryan Fitzpatrick. Son dressed up as father for Halloween. He's going to make something happen. So I would say he's going to start. I can't get a confirmation. Anyway, I don't really care at this point. I'm still taking the Panthers -6.5 because you got to think, whether it's Fitzpatrick, whether it's Winston, they're going to throw interceptions. They're going to turn the ball over. So I'm going to go with the Panthers -6.5. They have not looked good. Matter of fact, the Panthers and the Bears are my two favorite teams right now to be the teams that end up getting dusted in the playoffs. They'll make the playoffs. They're not very good teams, and then they'll end up getting dusted in the playoffs. So give me Carolina -6.5 in that game. It's, again, an NFC South matchup, which is going to keep that division kind of jumbled. The Saints are starting to try to run away with it, but we'll see if they don't come back to earth today against the Rams. We'll get to that game in a minute. For now, let's go to another intra. I don't know, inter or intra. I really need to go back to 12th grade English to find out the difference between inter and intra. An inter-division battle, I believe, the Ravens and the Steelers. Pittsburgh comes to Baltimore. I'm kind of hoping the Ravens win. It's been a couple weeks since I've gotten a free Dunkin' Donuts coffee on a Monday. What the fuck, Joe Flacco? I'm going to need you to step your shit up. Lamar Jackson looked really, really good in garbage time last week. Got a lot of people thinking, will they be going to Lamar Jackson sooner rather than later? If I know anything about the Harbaughs and, the Ravens and just the way they do things, I don't think it'll happen this season. I think it should. Don't think it will. Baltimore, not Baltimore. I guess when Lamar Jackson plays, they'll be the Baltimores. Baltimore -3 starting the week. They're all the way down to 2.5, all the way down a whole half point, Mike. They went down a whole half a point, and you made it seem like it was a big fucking line change, you jackass. Baltimore's -2.5. I can't take the Ravens as a favorite here. I'm going to take Pittsburgh +2.5. The Steelers have their own issues. Le'Veon Bell is soon to report back, which will make it even more of a circus. He's got to get his 6 games accrued so that the season counts towards his contract. Otherwise, if he doesn't play 6 games, or at least participate, I guess you could say report for 6 games, because I'm sure the Steelers aren't going to let him play. But as long as he's on the team and he's actively trying to participate, as long as he does that for 6 games, it counts as a season accrued. Baltimore -2.5. I'm taking Pittsburgh +2.5 before the Le'Veon Bell shitstorm comes into town in the next couple of weeks. Connor looks really, really good. Juju Smith-Schuster, we know he's good. We know Antonio Brown is good. The real question is Big Ben. He looks like he's taken a step back. I know he lost a lot of weight to begin the season, but he looks like he could be past it. I don't know. Him and Eli came in together, and Phillip Rivers, of those three, Phillip Rivers is the only one who looks like he's still kind of playing at that high level. Big Ben has taken multiple steps back. Eli has taken fucking, I don't know, Mariana Trench steps back. Didn't think you'd get a Mariana Trench reference this morning, did you? But you did. I don't know. I just don't think Big Ben looks the same. And look, he's an aging guy. Tom Brady makes everyone think that 40-year-olds can continue to play in the NFL until they're 50, but it's pretty obvious they can't. Big Ben has regressed. But at least that quarterback situation is better than the one in Denver. You know, last week we had Chad Kelly, Swagger Kelly, get kicked off the team for starting fights at a Halloween party, randomly drunk and went to a stranger's house and sat in the living room, got arrested. Now he's off the team. Case Keenum, still the quarterback. In Houston, you know, as much shit as I've given Deshaun Watson this year, he seems to kind of be on the right trajectory. Unfortunately, Will Fuller, gone for the year, tore his ACL. They make a trade for Demaryius Thomas to bring in another weapon. So Demaryius Thomas's first game as a Texan is against his former team, the Broncos. A lot of storylines there. No one really gives a shit. It's a 4:05 game. I don't think many eyes will be on this game, but it is a pretty cool storyline to see Demaryius Thomas line up against his former team. He does not bring the same dimension of speed, obviously, that Will Fuller does. He does bring another competent weapon to Deshaun Watson. He's going to have DeAndre Hopkins, who is still a monster on the one side. He's going to have Demaryius Thomas, who's still a really good possession receiver on the other side. Denver somehow is a 1.5-point favorite. The game is in Denver, but I'm taking Houston plus 1.5 in that game. I like they have too many weapons. I think they'll be able to move the ball. Denver's defense has looked really good after their Jets debacle, but I don't think they have what it takes to get it done. Give me Houston plus 1.5. They'll continue their little charge to the top of the AFC South as the Jags in a bye week can't lose. So at least the Jags can't lose this week. Blake Bortles can take a week off from being shit upon by the media. But the Texans, I don't think will do them any favors. I think the Texans are going to win, put some more pressure on the Jags and Blake Bortles next week when they come back. The Seahawks, who beat the Lions last week to really, really annoy me because I put a lot of money on the line. Well, not a lot. I put $35, but that's a lot of money for me. I'm not fucking rolling it dough here, people. $35 is a lot of money for this guy. Living at home with my parents, for Christ's sake. I don't have bankroll like that. $35 is a lot. So the Seahawks in Seattle started off the week as a 1.5-point favorite, is now down to a pick'em game, which basically means there is no line. I mean, there is a line. It's 0. So if you pick the Chargers or you pick the Seahawks, it doesn't matter. Whoever wins, wins. I like the Chargers. I think they're a better team. I think they're a more well-rounded team. The Seahawks have shown signs of improvement. They played a hell of a game against the Rams. They beat the hell out of the Lions last week. They're looking to keep that momentum going against the Chargers. I feel like I've said keep that momentum going a lot. I'm going to try to be as cliche as possible throughout the rest of this podcast. Let's be as fucking cliche as we can, Michael. Any other cliches? We got the big guys down low, you know. It's the offensive line in the trenches that are going to make all the difference. Well, they're not going to make the difference in Seattle because their offensive line is pretty poor. Tom Cable left and went to Oakland and fucked up their offensive line now. So maybe Tom Cable is the big piece of shit in this whole equation because Seattle's offensive line has looked better since he's left. I think he just comes and sabotages teams' offensive lines, because Oakland's offensive line was one of the best in the league, and now they've completely gone down the shitter. So maybe Tom Cable is the common denominator there. I don't think the Seahawks have enough to get it done. Give me the Chargers. I don't know what's going on in Seattle with Rashad Penny, but they really have to figure that out. First round draft pick running back. He's multiple games this year. He's not played any snaps, not gotten any carries. That's just bizarre. But give me the Chargers in that game. So let's move on to the game everybody's going to look forward to at 4:25. I think it's the only 4:25 game, which is rare. Usually there's at least 2 4:25 games, but Fox put all their apples in the Saints-Rams basket. The Rams go to New Orleans to take on Drew Brees and the Saints. Can the Rams stay undefeated? This game started out, New Orleans was a 1.5-point favorite. It's gone all the way, 4-point swing in the other direction. The Rams are now a 2.5-point favorite. Look, the Rams are really, really good. They're going to be really, really fast on turf. Can the Saints stop Todd Gurley? I think we're going to find out, because that, I think, is what Sean Payton's going to try to do. I think he's going to try to beat the Saints on the ground. Marshawn Lattimore, Marcus Williams, they're pretty good against the pass. It's just that when teams can kind of keep a balance going against the Saints, that the Saints struggle. When the Saints can force you to just pass the ball and they can jump routes, they're really, really good. So I think the Rams are going to try to be as balanced as possible. The Saints, on the other hand, if they can try to handle Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh, keep Breeze a somewhat clean pocket, because Breeze is a shorter guy. He needs a pretty clean pocket. If you can get in his face, he has trouble throwing over the lineman, throwing over the line. He's going to struggle, but I think this is going to be a tight game. I think it's going to be, give me the Saints plus 2.5. Just the real question is going to be is how does that interior line hold up against Ndamukong Suh and Aaron Donald? Because like I said, it's going to be the battle of the midgets, because Aaron Donald is not a big guy. He's a little guy for a D tackle. Drew Brees is a little guy for a quarterback. So maybe they'll do like fucking like an old school Halloween costume. Like Drew Brees will sit on Aaron Donald's fucking shoulders and they'll dress up as one actual regular size NFL player in a trench coat. It'll be like Aaron Donald and Drew Brees. They'll walk up to the movies like the fucking Little Rascals and they'll be like, one, please. Yeah, that's how short they are, apparently, if you listen to their draft knocks coming in. Drew Brees was knocked for his height. Aaron Donald was knocked for his height. Apparently, the NFL GMs just thought they were going to have to, they wouldn't be able to ride roller coasters at Disney. I don't know why people thought they were too short. They're not huge. I think Drew Brees is like 5'11", 6 foot. Aaron Donald, same thing, 5'11", 6 foot. It's not like they're fucking midgets. They can ride the Tower of Terror in Disney World. I don't get it. I don't know. Sometimes I think NFL GMs overthink themselves, and they clearly did on these two guys, because these two guys are like once in a lifetime players. Well, not once in a lifetime, because apparently fucking we get Tom Brady, we get Drew Brees, we get Peyton Manning. We got all three of those guys in one fucking generation. So it's not even once in a lifetime. It's once in once in every 3 drafts, I guess. Aaron Donald, on the other hand, has been pretty much once in a generation. Not since Warren Sapp have we seen a D tackle really affect the game like he has. JJ Watt is another guy on the interior, but he's not like a D tackle, like a true D tackle like Aaron Donald is. He's a D end. So I'll just shut up and stop talking about stupid fucking interior line play. Who cares about that? No one. Which that's going to be the beginning of a great Sunday night in America. I mean, what's more American than a fucking great Sunday night of football? Then we have midterm elections on Tuesday. We just got done Halloween. We're going into fucking Christmas. We got Thanksgiving. It's fucking America season, baby. America's coming out aces everywhere you look. You got the Patriots, you got the Packers. Green Bay is going into New England to deal with deflated footballs, radio headsets that don't work. Patriots started off the week as 6.5 point favorite. It's down to 5.5. I'm still taking Green Bay plus 5.5. Green Bay was, a Ty Montgomery fumble away from winning last week. By all intents and purposes, everything that we've seen tells us that Aaron Rodgers is going down the field to get a field goal there. The Packers are going to go off the winner. But no, Ty Montgomery had other thoughts. He fumbles. That's the end of that ball game. Curtain call. Ty Montgomery's traded to the Ravens. They fucking cut him almost immediately. Basically cut him. I think they traded him for like a 7th round pick. They basically told him, hey, fuck you. We don't even want to cut you. We want to humiliate you by only getting a 7th round pick for you. But I think they're going to have what it takes to at least stay close. And by have what it takes, I mean Aaron Rodgers. The Patriots are probably going to win this game, but Aaron Rodgers is really, really good at ending games with garbage time TDs and quote unquote making it close, like he did it against can't talk. The Niners, they did it against Niners. He actually got the win, though, in that one, because the Niners fucking sucked. And they had C.J. Beathard, not Big Dick Nick, the real Big Dick Nick Mullins back there throwing it. He did it against the Lions. He did it against the Niners. He'll probably do it tonight against the Patriots. So if you have Aaron Rodgers in your fantasy lineups, start him. Going to go off. It's not going to matter because they're probably going to lose 45 to 30, 39, and then I'd lose the bet. So I don't know why I said that. 45 to 39, 45 to 40, 45, 42, whatever it is. I'm taking the over and the Packers here. Give me the Packers plus 5.5. Monday night is, there's going to be a lot of eyes on it because it's the Cowboys, but it's kind of a letdown after these huge Sunday afternoon games. You got the Cowboys and the Titans. Tennessee comes into Dallas trying to get their season back on track after the what I would call a botched coaching decision by Mike Vrabel. They outplayed in London 2 weeks ago. They outplayed the Chargers in the second half. They came all the way back. It was 20-19. And instead of just kicking the field goal or the extra point and going into overtime where they had outplayed the Chargers the whole second half, they decided to go for 2. They missed it. The Chargers now have a huge tiebreak win over them because it looks like the Chargers are going to be in that wild card position if the Chiefs continue to win. And the Titans aren't going to be able to overtake them. One, because they have too many losses, and two, now because the Chargers hold a tiebreaker. So it looks like it could really fuck their season. So I think they're going to actually, though, win this game outright. You got Dallas started off as a 6.5-point favorite. It's down to 4. There's been a lot of point swings this week that I think Vegas came out strong on a lot of lines. When I saw the 6.5, I almost went and bet immediately. Kind of wish I did because it's all the way down to 4 now. Give me Tennessee +4. Marcus Mariota finally has some rest. He hopefully can get that hand, nerve, shoulder, elbow, whatever the hell's wrong with him, get it right. Amari Cooper had the luck of being traded out of that Raiders situation. I can't believe the Cowboys gave up a first rounder for him, but we'll see if it's going to pay off. In prime time, Monday night, Amari Cooper, all eyes are going to be on him. Booger McFarland and Jason Witten are going to cut each other off and argue about it. Jason Witten is pretty much looks like he's going to be one and done. He's a really, really bad color commentator. He's just too bland, too robotic. I don't even know if there's a term for it. Bland, robotic, shitty, not good. I don't know. I don't know what the term is, but Jason Witten is really, really bad. At least he'll be calling a Cowboys game, so he'll know some of the intricacies and the ins and outs of the offense. He can give some of those kind of insights, but he's been pretty poor. I don't know why they thought it'd be a good idea. They should have let him, do some NFL Europe games or something, send him to the D League, get his feet wet, but he's pretty fucking awful. Anyway, why am I talking about the fucking announcing crew? Joe Tessitore, Booger McFarland, and Jason Witten. But Boog and Jason Witten kind of cutting each other off is funny. They're getting better. Booger McFarland, I do think he's better than Jason Witten, but I don't know. Neither of them are very good. Give me Tennessee +4. Bye weeks this week. You got the Bengals, Colts, Giants, Eagles, Cardinals, and Jaguars. 6 buys. So there's only 26 to 13 games, I guess you could say. 32 minus 26 divided by 2. Yeah, 13 games this week, and I'm already 0-1. Oh, shit. Can I get it going? All right, Chicago -10, Kansas City -8, the Jets +3, Minnesota -5, Atlanta +2, Carolina -6.5, the Steelers +2.5, Houston +1.5, the Chargers in a pick'em, New Orleans +2.5, Green Bay +5.5, Tennessee +4. Took a lot of underdogs this week after I took a lot of favorites last week. Seems like that's my zen. I got to balance that shit out. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Basically gonna kidnap my wife. No hashtag me too's over here. Going to kidnap her, make her do a podcast with me. She's not going to do it on camera, but I'll be the only one on camera. But you'll hear her lovely, luscious voice. I'm making her do it. I don't know if it's going to happen tonight or another night, but it's going to happen in the next couple of days. I'm going to get the wife on the podcast. We're going to be talking about the Christmas creep. We're going to be talking about the midterm elections. We're going to be talking about probably my hairy chest that I need to shave because it's getting a little too hairy. She actually commented and said that she likes the fact that after she feels my chest hair, when she feels her head hair, it feels much softer than the Brillo pad that is my chest. So maybe I'll leave it if it makes her feel better about herself. Like my terrible exfoliation and weird shit patch I got going on my chest makes her feel better about her head hair. That's why I'm here. I'm here to support her and prop her up and make her feel better about herself. But look for that in the next couple of days. Thanks again. Enjoy your Sunday. Great Sunday it is. Even if the 1:00 games aren't great, got a lot to look forward to this evening. Going to try to lay off the booze today. Got to start at Stevenson tomorrow. So I got to be nice, bright-eyed, and bushy-tailed. I don't want to get beaten up by any of the kids. Have a good one. We out.